being killed in a war that is going nowhere.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to episode 33 of the Drew Pablo Show. We're still doing this. We won't give up. Inshallah. Thank you for joining, Xerenthius. I told everyone I'm doing this every day for 100 days, so I'm not giving up. I want to watch maybe Trump's stuff in the Middle East live. Very interesting. Very interesting. This stuff is happening live right now as we speak. I'm gonna put my jacket on. It's a bit cold.
They've come a long way. So
Beautiful.
I just want to thank the media's been.
How you going, Xerenthius? Thanks, guys, the regular viewers for tuning in. I appreciate it. Beautiful.
We've done here.
Sorry for starting a bit later today. Had some family stuff. Good morning from America. Thank you, SSWB Redux. Malachi says, can we debate again soon? Yeah, sure. Maybe sometime next week. The state of Iowa. What a beautiful place. I would love to go to Iowa someday. I'd love to go to Iowa. One day, SSWB, I'll meet you there. Let's hear what Trump's saying.
And you see that even with enlistments, military enlistments setting records. 6 months ago, you couldn't get anybody to go into the military.
100 days in hardcore YouTube live streaming. This is so fucking hardcore, guys. I just go by Redux. Thank you, Redux. How you going, mate? Are you a fan of Arab Gulf kitsch? It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? We love the Arab Gulf states. Hello there. Hello, Yusuf. How you going, mate? Thanks for joining the stream.
We're looking at 10 to now we're looking at 13, maybe 13 trillion dollars. These are numbers that nobody's ever. Even you guys, you've never heard of numbers. These are numbers that nobody's ever heard of.
Keen for the King of the Hill reboot. I didn't even know that was happening. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. I didn't even know that was happening.
We punch above our weight. You do. That I agree. That's right. If you get that big, I'm going to not like you so much anymore. So I want to thank everybody. The media.
Day 33 of the live streaming journey, guys. We're not giving up. We're not giving up, okay?
See you. Even Peter's big, nice.
Hey, Con, how you going? Use Drew Pavlov's head as a fleshlight. Fuck you. You're disgusting. Cunt. Banned.
I have spoken to her a couple of times.
Fucking classic show. Dale's voice actor died though. I love King of the Hill, man. I love that. I watched that a lot when I was a kid.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Can we ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
You said that you didn't expect him to go if he didn't go. The question might be then, when are you going to do it? Why wait?
Well, we're going to. I think it's time for us to just do it. I say.
The only decent thing so far from the tour is the serious stuff. Interesting. Interesting.
Zelensky was going, and I said, if I don't go,
let's see what he says about Ukraine.
He's not going. And he didn't go, and I understand that, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it done. We got to get it done. 5,000 young people are being killed every single week on average, and we're going to get it done.
Were you surprised when Zelensky didn't show up either, sir? Were you surprised when Zelensky didn't show up either?
No, he didn't show up because he heard Putin wasn't going. So
when do you think you'll meet President?
As soon as we can set it up. I would actually leave here and go. I do want to see my beautiful grandson, and we'll be doing that. But I will tell you that the world is a much safer place.
Another Drew Pablo show. Let's go. Love from UK and Hungary. Thank you, guys. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you. Drew, are you a Starmer? I do like Keir Starmer. He's doing well, I think. Bro, I'm sick of listening to Trump deciphering Biden, starting with more coherent. Yo. G'day, Drew. Just got off watching Carl Clancy's segment on Trump with the Houthis. They spent $1 billion bombing them for about a month. Houthis almost shot down an F-35. Then he capitulated. Bad, eh? As a kid, I thought it was boring. As I grew up, I realized it was brilliant. Mike Judge also made Office Space and Idiocracy. They're both, yeah, I agree. I didn't like it when I was like 10, but I like it now. Grandson. Did he have a grandson now? Who the fuck said such an absurd thing about your head, Drew? That cocksucker sounds like he wanted to behead you, but we definitely can't have that. We don't like the jihadists, do we, folks? We don't like the jihadists. Well, we should try to stay out of Syria, and anyone is better than Assad. Yeah, I agree. Trump is just rambling around. We need to be protected at all costs. Thank you so much, Yusuf. Thank you, brother. Guys, as always, if you're watching on the YouTube, please consider liking and subscribing. Help us reach more people. I'd very much appreciate it.
The president.
I very much appreciate that, guys. We're trying to build it up, as I've said. It's good. We had a really good and really successful stream yesterday, actually, which was great. We did the Barclay stream was probably, I think it was the second biggest ever stream I've done. I think we had about almost 50 live viewers for most of it, actually, which was great. So yeah, guys, I'd love to try hit 50 average viewers for the next couple of weeks. If you guys can help me share around. I think we've got 1 like on the YouTube video so far. Friends, we've got 10 people watching on YouTube. You've got to hit the like button. You've got to hit the like button. God damn, I fucking hate Woodrow Wilson. He was not a good dude, was he? Dodo is here. Thank you for joining, Dodo. I'm still so sad that American voters dropped the ball so hard, man. It was a big ball drop. But I've noticed that there is a growing anti-Semitism problem in this rightful protest against the crimes of how the government of Israel is doing in Gaza and the West Bank. It is in my opinion. There's a lot of anti-Semitism, guys, because you didn't have net lag. Chat, please post Woodrow Wilson hate. What slop should I have a legal food taxi to my house tonight, Surf? Good question. I would say, you know what I would go for, Chris? I'd go for the Biang Biang noodles. Beautiful cuisine from I think it's from what region of China? Beautiful stuff though. The Biang Biang noodles, very thick, flat noodles, and they've got a beautiful chili sauce. Very beautiful. I'd highly recommend it. Probably my favorite type of Chinese food, the Biang Biang noodles. They say it's from Xi'an. Now, Christopher, I would highly recommend the Biang Biang noodles. The Biang noodles are great. I really appreciate them. I support Biang Biang noodles. As I said, I'm always against the CCP. But I like the Chinese culture. And one of the things we do like is the Biang Biang noodles. Very important. Biang Biang noodles, Xi'an, from my hometown. That's cool, Dodo. I didn't know you were from Xi'an. Very cool. Drew, you're so insanely cool. I love watching you stream. I need to talk more in these chats. Thank you so much, Pepper Pro. I think a lot of people are thinking this. I think a lot of people are constantly thinking this bloke is really cool, but they don't say it. They don't say it as often as they should. But there's a lot of hatred for me online, and people call me a lol cow and things like that. So when I get great comments like that, Pepperco, saying I'm cool, thank you. It actually touches the heart. It really does touch the heart, my friends. And it's good. We're getting some more viewers now. We've got 15 live viewers on the YouTube stream. Very important. We're doing this every day, guys. Tomorrow it's the weekend now, so I'm gonna try on the weekend to stream Australia morning time. That way I can reach a North American audience too. I would love to visit China one day. Me too, but I'm banned for life until Xi Jinping falls, until the CCP fall. Barclay isn't as odious as Stu Paul hacks and the media made him out to be. I disagree with him, but I feel I could have a beer and chat shit with him. Listen, Barclay is not, we don't have the same politics. He's like a right-wing libertarian. I'm not a right-wing libertarian, but he's an interesting fellow. You can have actually a reasonable chat with him, I feel. He's not far right as some people like to claim. This is not a neo-Nazi, guys. I mean, he's like a Ben Shapiro fan at the end of the day. I think there has been a lot of hatred directed at Barclay over the years. I knew him before he became infamous. And so, I never wanted to fully cancel the bloke. And I like debating with people. I like debating people. I've had people from the far right on the show. I've had people from the far left. I've had people from the center right. I've had a lot of people on the show. And I'll talk to almost anyone who is not threatening me with death. Trump is transactional, not an ideologue. I'm from Melbourne. My parents, Xi'an. That's very cool, Dodo. I appreciate that we've got a Chinese supporter of democracy here, a Chinese Australian supporter of democracy. Dodo, what do you think we need to do to try, break through when it comes to, it seems to me sometimes that pro-CCP sentiment is popular among some aspects, some segments of the Chinese Australian community. What do you think we need to do to try break through on that? Because we need to spread the word for democracy. Drew, you should also happen to love Iranian culture while at the same time against the IRGC. Yeah, I love Persian culture. Persian culture is very beautiful, very, very beautiful, high civilization. Thoughts on Catholic domination in the SDA? Long live the Catholic Church, I'd say. You deserve none of that hatred, XX, and upstander for democracy like you is what we need. Thank you so much, Pepper. How kind of you. I bet videos of Drew from 6 years ago, he was an Andrew Tate. No, I wasn't. I'm a lefty, but I'm pro-democracy. I'm very cool. Trump's only ideology is how many dollars you can squeeze out of his mafia family. By the way, The Wire rules. The Wire is a great show. I've almost finished the whole 5 seasons. I think I'm on the last season. Barclay has police officer who eats too many donuts phenotype, especially with the mustache. That's pretty funny. I like that comment. Drew, how much of a common discourse is created by Russian, China bot farms? The bot farms are big problems. The bot farms are big problems, folks, and we've got to deal with that. I can take you to China. You still got a bounty on your head. I've got a bounty on my head. I don't think I can go to China, but thank you, Dodo. I appreciate it, my friend. Maybe one day when the CCP or Xi Jinping is no longer in charge. Sorry, Australia didn't qualify in Eurovision yesterday. We were rooting for you. Thank you, mate. What a very sad thing. What a very sad thing. Did you notice that Barclay has a reverse Hitler mustache? Barclay had a gap in his philtrum and a mustache around it, while that Adolf had a bit of his hair on his philtrum and nothing around it. Wild. Thank you for that, Pickles LeBlanc. Very interesting. He said dumb shit, but so have I. We make mistakes. Let's be human and come together. I don't know. Well said, sir. I've certainly said a lot of dumb things in my times. I'm pro-human rights. I'm against authoritarianism, both right and left. Taiwan is an independent nation. Well said. I fully understand. I fully agree with you. What do you think of Hungarian culture? Listen, I have a lot of respect for Hungarian culture. I went to Budapest for one day in 2022. It was a beautiful place when I saw it. I loved seeing Budapest. It's a beautiful, clean, nice city. What was I going to say? There's one Hungarian writer that I really want to read. I think his name is... shit. I've got to find it. Mansburn. I'm trying to find this book that I've always wanted to read, and it's Hungarian. I'm going to go to my Goodreads very quickly. If you think democracy exists, you're naive. You're the naive one, my friend. We were too overpowered for Eurovision. Australia stays winning. Very well said, Big Thinker. Drew, you have to watch Mr. Robot next. Just try first episode. I guarantee you'll love it. Trust me. Okay, I'll put that on the list. I've also been told by everybody that I've got to see Andor. I will try watch Andor as well. It's very hard. Very hard. There's a lot of things to watch right now. A lot of stuff to do. Many books behind me I still need to read. G'day, Champion Drew by Stephen Sade. Thank you, Stephen, for joining. I appreciate it, mate. Jack Berry on Lebanese American Danny Thomas joining formerly exclusively Jewish Hillcrest Country Club. The least they could have done was admit someone who looks like a Gentile. Very funny. Budapest seems lit. I really want to go. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. Trump grifting in. Thoughts on New South Wales Young Labor left's Maoism issue? Very concerning. The New South Wales Young Labor left, they have to have a big clean out. They have to have a big clean out of the Maoists from the New South Wales Young Labor left. There must be a purge of the Maoists who have infiltrated the New South Wales Young Labor left. I say that very forcefully and very accurately. The Maoists have to go. They cannot exist inside the youth wing of Australia's governing party. Couldn't get Barclay to say chicken jockey. Thank you, Surf Sherpa. I don't know if I was asked on the stream about that. To deal with ethnic issues is that you don't embarrass the culture. Give face to cultures that have respect built in the culture. Australia's small, weak country, loudmouth. What are you talking about, Dodo? I don't know why I'm allowing that jackass on X to piss me off, Lamayo. Many beautiful countries and intricate material cultures produce that not super easy or pleasant to visit currently. Russia, China, UK, Iran. Yes, it's very sad that Britain is one of those countries that is under occupation. Nah, Drew's next show is The Sopranos. He's doing a watch and giving us this. I actually really need to see The Sopranos. I think I've watched the first 5 episodes of season 1, but I've got to get back to it. I've got to watch the whole thing. Especially during COVID when America didn't back us up, but took advantage of Chinese trade war to fill in the gap, made us look weak and stupid. Con Milena Nights. I've been to Budapest. It was very cool. Buda, the castle on the hill, Pesiti, the city below, the Nazi occupation museum, very in London. I saw the shoes on the river, the memorial in Budapest. That was very sad. That was a really sad thing. I'm gonna try bring up I'm gonna try bring up the book that I wanted to read. That's Hungarian. There's like a Hungarian writer. Oh, The Tragedy of Man by Imre Medak. Let me quickly put that on the stream. This is for the benefit of our Hungarian friend. This is a Hungarian book that I've had on my Goodreads for so long, but I can't find a version of it in English, I think. But apparently, it just sounds really interesting to me. It's like the play follows Adam and Eve as they appear in various guises and episodes throughout history and grow in self-awareness and wisdom. It's just a very interesting concept. So I've had that on my list for so long. I think Gerald Murnane really likes it. Gerald Murnane is this Australian writer who's been a favorite to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. I interviewed him in 2021. Very cool and interesting guy. And he taught himself Hungarian when he was like 55. Have you listened to that singer Evangelia? I haven't listened to it, but I want to say something quickly, guys. When it comes to Britain, I'd say maybe the only Albanian person in Britain we support is Dua Lipa. I'm not going to say anything further than that. I'm just going to leave that there for the comment. I want you guys to think about that and discuss it. Please discuss it in my chat. If we're talking about the Albanian community in Britain, maybe the only one that we really support is Dua Lipa. What do you guys think of that? There's been this one that I've been meaning to watch for a long time. Maybe we should watch this. Britain is a dump. Drew, thoughts on Labour rights factional thuggery? Husic is doing a media run. Very sad, guys. The factional thuggery is very sad. Uncle Junior is who I want to be in life. Pure Sigma. You asked how to break into ethnic migrant media. Oh no, good point, Dodo. Sorry, I got distracted a bit. Sorry, ADHD. I heard Al Sharar gave a foreign fighter a ministry leadership position. And he doesn't seem like he's going to do elections anymore. I guess it's still way better than Assad. Oh, it's worrying. I really hope they don't go in that direction. But look, Assad was almost the worst you could ever have, right? I just joined the stream, but do you reckon there's a possibility of Syria aligning with Saudi and the US? Look, if that happened, it'd be so interesting. Imagine that, right? Imagine that. I hope they do. I hope they do. If Syria can come out of the axis of resistance and become, you know, a bastion of stability in the Middle East, that'd be a great thing, right? Budapest, Bucharest, and Prague are on my hit list. I went to Berlin last year, which was incredibly eye-opening, amazing city. Drew Pavley, please dedicate a live stream to raise awareness to what's happening to Syrian Jews right now. Okay, I'll try to do that in the future. Doesn't surprise me that New South Wales Labor left is full of mouse. In my experience, young Labor in Victoria, New South Wales is unbelievably cooked and tanky built. The tankies need to be purged from the parties, folks. The tankies need to be purged from the parties. Oh my God, yes, this is good. If you can get translation, definitely do. Yeah, dude, I really want to read that Imre Malek book. Really want to. Shame the book depository disappeared. Oh, dude, I used to love the book depository. That's where I probably got like, 20, 30% of my library. We read Celine Journey to the End of Night and discuss on stream maybe. Okay, look, I know that Celine is a very cancelled writer, Chris, but we'll look into that. We'll look into it perhaps. Is this the same Celine I'm thinking of? Yes, Celine, very cancelled, Chris. I'm very concerned by that recommendation. I think it's pronounced Lipadru, maybe, not Rita Ora. Is Rita Ora Albanian? I didn't know that. Syria will align with Turkey. Turkey funded them to victory. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Turkish state, guys. Syria will go its own way under a Turkish regional hegemon. I hope not. What do you think is the best possible system Syria could get? Some partial democracy like Jordan. If they can eventually have democracy and elections, that would be really good. If they have, system that is quite stable like Jordan, I mean, that would be pretty ideal, I think, compared to where it was at. I can recommend Prague as well. Beautiful city, love Czechia. I went to Prague for lunch one day when I was in Europe in 2022. I didn't get to see as much of it as I would have liked. Beautiful place, though. Beautiful place. Isn't Syria building a Trump tower to remove sanctions? I heard that. It's a very funny thing. I hope Jelani actually does it. It's so corrupt, but it's one way to get America on side. It's sad. If you pride yourself on racial purity and use it to justify exclusive sovereignty, your nationalist movement is a lost cause type movement, analogous to that white Southerners post-Civil War. The Palestine movement is very similar to the Deep South lost cause. It's true. Prague is good also. According to my Polish friend at school, Krakow is the place to visit in Poland, not Warsaw. I never got it there. I've been to Tallinn and Riga. I don't trust MBS in Saudi Arabia, though. Where did that 9/11 plotters come from? MBS is not part of that. In my opinion, I think MBS is the one who's drained. I think from the outside in, it looks like MBS is roughly kind of reining in some of the more hardcore Islamist extremists in Saudi Arabia. It's not perfect, obviously, but from where it was 5 years ago, it's changed a lot. Tanguys hate al-Shura and his government actually looks pretty good. Look, considering the region, it's not that bad considering some of the ones next door to it. Liberal and national logos are dated and designed for 70s print, use old Futura fonts, etc. Reckon they could get new ones. Losmar, thank you for donating the $5 super chat. I appreciate mate. We'll look into that. Maybe they should get some new fonts. Maybe Comic Sans. I reckon the Nationals logo would look really good with Comic Sans. Yeah, I don't know how relevant that story is, though. I feel like Saudi, Turkey, UAE lobbying might be the actual reason. True. Rita Ora is Albanian in origin, but her family moved to UK when she was 5. There you go. Okay, so we support Rita Ora and Dua Lipa. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know that. First super chat, Drew Dance for it. Thank you. We'll salute to our first super chatter of the night. If you guys want a super chat, it's always very much appreciated. Help me pay my rent. It's a very good thing. The Drew Pavlou show is rising. God willing, by the end of the year, we can make this a full-time thing. The historically oppressed did not have the opportunity to remain racially pure. White Americans are on average 98% European. African Americans are on average 24% European. Res ipsa loquitur. Okay, Philip, interesting comment. You really believe Syria will have real democratic elections? I haven't found them to tell you. Other countries will have systems that work for them. It's none of our business. Isn't the sectarianism in Syria caused by Sada spewing out disinformation? There has been sectarian violence. That is absolutely undoubted. There has also equally been disinformation by Assadists. So I think it is hard to determine the full extent of what's happening in Syria right now. But there has undoubtedly been some level of sectarian violence against minorities, which of course I completely oppose that, disavow it. From MBS father, MBS is killing all the old guard. MBS is a reform, but he's also brutal. Yeah, I mean, look, he's authoritarian, of course. He's of course authoritarian. My worry would be if you had democratic elections in Saudi Arabia, it could potentially basically elect a hardcore ISIS-style regime. Prague is a wonderful city. I have fond memories of eating a weird edible and going through an art gallery. Very beautiful pickles, LeBlanc. Thank you for that. Riga is sad. Half of it is Russian now, and they behave awfully. Many people born there cannot even speak Latvian, just speak Russian or something else instead. The Russians have to go home, don't you think, guys? The Russians in Europe who are pro-Russia anyone who's pro-Russia and they're Russian in Europe, they have to go home. They have to be deported. I think that's just a sad reality, guys. I'm a very liberal-minded person. It pains me to say that we have to have deportation sometimes, but when you've got Russians who are pro-Putin, in Europe, what's the alternative? You have to deport some of these people. Comic Sans should be too good for the National Party. Well said, big thinker. Considering what happened in Omaha, Nebraska, do you think midterms will be Trump's downfall? I think on current things, I think that Trump is going to be smashed in the midterms. But again, years a long time in politics. You can never confirm these things out that far out, right? I've heard Krakow. I've been to Krakow, beautiful place, guys. I've been to Krakow. I've spent a little bit of time in Poland, a couple of weeks in Poland. I still want to spend more time there because the time I was in Poland, it wasn't really a holiday. I was just doing aid stuff. But look, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And Krakow was a beautiful place. I still remember seeing the castle in the center of the city. Very beautiful place, Krakow, beautiful city. Lameo, true, the rules would go so hard for a real Wahhabist. It's a very scary thing. One of the more toxic elements of Israeli society is the substantial Russian influence in that country. That's a comment by Pickles LeBlanc. Listen, my understanding is that Russian Israelis typically vote for pretty right-wing candidates, and there's a lot of support for Putin, unfortunately, and that's a really horrible and disappointing thing. We want anti-Putin Russians. Well said, Redux. I agree with you. The anti-Putin Russians I can be friends with, but they have to be against the wall. They have to be against Putin. They have to repudiate that part, right? As Americans pay for tariffs for the Amazon packages, they will vote out Trump. I think there's a strong chance of that. Guys. It's going to be very hard for Trump if there's if there's a supply shock in that country. It's going to be very hard for Trump. People in the EU that are pro-Putin, they should go back to Russia. Absolutely. So pro-Putin people in the EU, they have to go back to Russia. Too early to tell, but I'm hopeful that he is putting too many idiots in charge. They're just making too many mistakes. It's hard to say, right? A year is a very long time in politics. You can never fully write Trump off. But I don't think, if he were to continue this current trajectory, I don't think that's going to bode well for him in the midterms. With the Saudi economy likely or on the verge of collapsing, is the regime likely to collapse and get replaced by, Wahhabists and sectarians? I think that is a scary thing. I don't think the Saudi economy is likely on the verge of collapsing. I think they're doing okay right now. But unfortunately, there is some really hardline extremist Islamist sects. There's some really hardline Islamist extremists in Saudi Arabia, and we need those people sidelined. I saw Russian TV in Estonia and Latvia, so dated and awful, stuck in the 60s, heaps of old bald dudes in dodgy brown suits and playing old Beatles songs from White Album. Weird. That's pretty funny, Max, actually. Who is the greatest Russian leader in your view? A low bar to clear, but what are your thoughts? Fuck, man, I literally don't even know. Because, there's been a really long tradition of autocracy. And I can't say, Gorbachev, because, he wasn't really objectively a good leader, right? So it's fucking hard to say. I actually don't know who I could say is a good Russian leader. It's really bad. Do you think if a diaspora votes for an authoritarian regime back home when they live in liberal democracy, they should have their right to stay revoked? Look, we have to have that conversation. If you got a diaspora that is pro-Putin, voting for pro-Putin stuff in Europe, then how can you say that these people are integrating into society? The tariffs making prices worse will be the litmus test of whether Americans just made a bad move in voting Trump or are just brainwashed buffoons, depending on how the midterms go. Yeah, no, if they continue electing Trump, even with massive price shocks, that would be just pretty crazy. Trump isn't putting idiots in charge. He is putting sycophants in charge. Saudi economy is rapidly divesting. Interesting. It's horrible Trump imposed tariffs on China. On Canada and Mexico, like why? Those are trading partners. Listen, you don't want to put sanctions on your friends, right? That's the thing. That's the crazy thing. Konstantin from Inside Russia YouTube is incredibly prejudiced, not able to seek asylum anywhere. He's currently stuck in Uzbekistan. Okay, I'm not sure who that guy is. Catherine the Great was the best Russian leader. I'm not gonna endorse her because she was like a Russian imperialist, right? We're only 3 months in and Trump has almost destroyed American society and economy. Look, I wouldn't say destroyed. Destroyed is a strong word. I think America can come back, but he's done some really permanent lasting damage. Yeltsin was funny, at least, too drunk to be an autocrat. But he was the guy who appointed Putin, right? The reason Putin is in power is because Yeltsin put him in power. So it's really hard, right? It's really hard. It's a sad thing. Drew, the diaspora in Australia vote Labor because they're favorable to China and India. What diaspora? Are you talking about the Russian diaspora? BJP and India Greens in Australia voting better for. There was this girl at university that Chris and I both knew, and she voted BJP in India. But in Australia, she backed the Greens. And I don't think she realized the BJP were really, they're pretty right wing, right? And it's just very funny. You see that, you actually see that, right? There are people who, in Australia, they vote a really left wing progressive option. And then when you ask them about the politics of their home countries, like they just launch into a hardcore nationalist rant, right? It's crazy. You see these people and it's pretty nuts. Idiots can also be sycophants. The Saudi economy has been very oil-based. MBS has tried to reform the economy, but his NEOM initiative has failed and their tourism industry isn't growing as much as he likes. Watch his space. Look, you're right that there's a lot of struggle with NEOM. There's a lot of struggle with NEOM and it's not really working. Very thin ice. Drew, do you follow Reza Pahlavi? Look, guys, I don't think restoring the Shah is the right move in Iran. I want Iran to have proper, full democratic elections. Drew, love your work. How do you think we best defend against the clamp between loony leftists that are going through the edgy phase and literal neo-Nazis like Thomas Sowell? Dude, the sad thing is, like, the extremes are gaining power right now, and we have to be sensible liberal centrists who just say, we stand for democracy. We stand for the basic fundamentals of Western civilization. We value Western civilization. We think it should exist, and we are going to defend it against people on the far right and the extreme left who want to kill it. He also shot a tank at Parliament. That's a good point about Yeltsin. American stock market is above when he was inaugurated. That's just stupidity, though. Like, I don't know what the fucking American stockbrokers are thinking. That's just mental illness almost. Like, I think a lot of them still think there's going to be this magical Trump who just will be reined in by his advisor. That's just not happening, is it? Guys, let me quickly show you this. It was so fucking funny. So this was, look at this, right? So,
Albanese, the Labour government, to rescind their motion.
This is guys, watch this. This is Social Alternative at University of Melbourne. It's very fucking funny. Watch this.
Albanese, the Labour government, to rescind their motion of inviting Trump to Australia. Trump is
I've got a comment here. Drew, you're a monarchist. I believe in constitutional democratic monarchy. So, you know, the monarch as just a constitutional figurehead, while real decisions are made by democratically elected leaders. Like, that's where I think things should be. You know, the British sort of Westminster system has brought a lot of stability to Australia for a long time, and I don't think it's good to just rip that up. Follow the Romanian election. It is ridiculously close right now. Choice for Romania, further tie with EU liberalism or go back to authoritarianism. When does the election actually go, Soren? When's the election? When does it actually go off? Wasn't Medvedev more moderate than Putin? No, Medvedev is a fucking crazy guy. Medvedev's like a fucking drunk who's even more extreme than Putin these days. Catherine the Great must surely get points for being an authority figure in a society as misogynist as Russia. Imperialist girl boss. Oh, well said. Best Russian leader. Genghis Khan easily. Long live the Golden Horde. Well said, Big Finger. Great comment. Isn't it insane that 2 generations of Russians know of Putin being the only president? Yeah, dude. And there's no successor. Who knows what's going to happen after? Reza Pahlavi does not have the source. As evil as he was, Khomeini built it. Dude, fuck Khomeini. He's disgusting. All hail King Charles. Why are we following these freakish left? Guys, watch this. Watch this. It's so funny.
crazy far-right psychopath. They want millions of migrants and refugees outside America. Trump's attacks on the unions and rip off all the right.
How funny is this, dude? Look at this.
Fight against this crazy assault into people's living standard. Because like Trump should never ever allow to be in our country.
Hell yeah, man. Powerful fucking powerful visuals, powerful imagery, the spikes, the weird sort of like who knows what that is? It's kind of like some kind of spiky necklace. I like the ear piercing on the forehead. I don't even know how that happens. I don't even know how to get an ear piercing in the forehead. Yeah, very scary stuff. Very scary stuff.
Put their invitation in the bin. Agree.
Amazing mental illness, eh? Amazing stuff.
And let's put this message out and loud that Trump
powerful, guys. Powerful.
And out of Australia.
Now, guys, look at this, right? I just looked at this and I just thought to myself, this is like a return to the prodigy. A return to the prodigy. Keith Flint's back. Keith Flint is back. The Fear Addicted, Danger Illustrated. Yeah. And the Firestarter. Twisted Firestarter. Sorry, guys, just a quick drum solo because Keith Flint's fucking back. The prodigy's fucking back, guys. Quick drum solo. Sorry. Fuck, that was cool. That was cool, guys. Do you think that was a cool drum solo? I reckon that was a fucking good drum solo. What do you guys reckon? Just at the end when it fucking hit, just. Oh, dude, that goes hard. That goes fucking hard. Prodigy's back, guys. Someone clip that. Drew sucking on something he should be sucking on. Fuck. Clip. Nah, we're gonna clip that. That was a funny one, I reckon. Just the fucking. How hard does the drums go here, guys? The fucking Prodigy. Fuck, guys. It goes hard. Goes fucking hard. They should put you in Eurovision next year, Drew. Bring it home for Australia. Got my vote. Well said. Well said. Isn't it good that the Prodigy's back, guys? Like, they didn't let Keith Flint's tragic suicide, end the band. We remember him. We say rest in peace to him. Great air drumming. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for watching. We've got not quite Neil Peart. Look, guys, I'm trying my best, but thank you so much. I think we've got almost 30 people watching live on the YouTube, guys. If you're watching, you have to like and subscribe. You have to like and subscribe so we can get more people watching. Please, guys, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's a slow burn, but we're building up. We're building up. What should we cover, guys? How about, should we watch that video? Should we watch that video? Drew, have you read Vivek's books, Woke Inc.? Great read on how radical leftism has infected basically all of the educational institutions. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Vivek, but look, I've heard of it. If a monarchy I don't know, guys. I feel very conflicted, right? Because I don't like Trumpism, and I don't like sort of like the boomer anti-woke stuff. Some of it's cringe, but I also find wokeness so annoying. I just find everyone annoying in politics. I don't really fit anywhere, to be honest. If a monarchy gets restored in Iran, it would be a constitutional monarchy, constitutional monarchy is what I favor. But look, Iran, I think Iran being a democracy would be good. Vivek is a car salesman. Very true, very true. Guys, what about we watch that? Hang on, we'll watch a bit of the Trump Middle East stuff. I think that's a good idea. We'll do a bit of that. Never give up, guys. Never give up. Everyone who said Drew's streaming career will never take off the ground. Listen, think of all the people who said that, right? They didn't see my drum solo just then. They didn't see it. And therefore, it's really just a sign, never, ever, ever give up. Never give up. We're building. It's a slow build, but we're getting there. We're getting there. And just never give up, my friends. Never give up. Well, let's watch a little bit of Trump.
The United States just met face to face with a former Al-Qaeda militant, the new Syrian president. Trump also just signed a $142 billion arms deal with Saudi Arabia, and that is just the beginning. Well, Eric Stakelbeck, host of Stakelbeck Tonight on TBN, joins us now. So, my brother, there's an editorial on the Jerusalem Post that calls this whole Middle East shakeup a, quote, new world order. So this is a big...
Please, Drew, we've seen Hassan have a very lucrative career. Anyone can make it, even you. See, there are idiots who are making millions of dollars. Hassan Piker, has he read a book in his life? We don't think so, right? Never give up. I truly believe that we can supplant him one day. They may laugh at us now because we've only got 30 viewers. We're only 30 days in. Honestly, trust the fucking plan. Trust the fucking plan, guys. Share it. Share. Never going to give you up. Never going to leave you down. Thank you so much, Yusuf. You met Wayne Swan once a few years ago to discuss getting back into the ALP. Obviously, that never happened. Given it was a few years ago, can you tell us what was happening? How do you remember that? How do you even know that, Pickles LeBlanc? How the hell do you remember that? That's so interesting. I did actually meet Wayne Swan. I didn't. How do you guys remember that? How do you guys even know that? Hassan has a beard. Drew doesn't know Hope. I was growing out a beard, and then people in the chat told me to cut it. What am I supposed to do? I met Wayne Swan a couple years ago, and I didn't like it because when I met with him, he said, "Oh, don't hang out with Kimberly Kitching and Kimberly Kitching's people." And Kimberly Kitching was like the one Labor person who really backed me when I was getting expelled from the University of Queensland. Very nice and lovely lady. She actually cared for my welfare. She actually would message me how I was going when I was really struggling with the University of Queensland pressure campaign against me, when I was getting smeared in the papers and stuff like that. I was only like a 20-year-old university student. She was the one Labor politician in the entire country who backed me because she went to UQ. And I've got a lot of, I have very fond memories. It's very sad when you lose, a mentor to sudden death like that, right? Very sad, very sad. So I didn't like how Wayne Swan basically was saying, "Oh, don't hang out with the Kimberley people. They're not good." I mean, I really like the Kimberley people. They had good values. They stood up for stuff, and you know, they actually fully backed me on all this China stuff, and no one else would. That was the thing that killed me, right? No one in the Labor Party wanted to help me when I was getting expelled from the University of Queensland. Everybody just pretended I didn't exist because no one wanted to upset the universities. No one wanted to upset the relationship with China. It's like at least there was this one lady, right, who actually backed me, and I really appreciated that. So sad that we lost Kimberley Kitching like that, guys. So sad, but we can't ever give up. We can't ever give up. Guys, I'm interested. If you've been watching the show, so what do you recommend? What do you recommend in terms of helping build up the show, right? Because we had the second best live stream that we had ever yesterday with the Barclay McGame live chat debate. We had about 45 average viewers across 2 hours. That was like our second best ever. You know, it's slowly building up. What do you guys think we need to do to like try get there to, you know, how do we get to the point where we've got 1,000 people watching? How the fuck do we get there, right? It's a slow burn. I know that the one thing that everyone just tells me is consistency. You have to have consistency. And so I'm trying to do that, right? I've been doing this every day for 33 days. But how do we get there, guys? How do we get to the actual, like, you know, how do we get to the summit, the mountaintop? If you guys have recommendations or tips, I'd love to hear them. Let's have a fucking strategy planning session, right? You gotta plan it out. In real life debates might be cool. Yeah, I want to do that too. People go in for those like park things. I'm glad Ukraine doesn't have brown people like you. Fuck off and die. Make it more like a radio show where you host other political commentators to discuss the issues of the day. Yeah, dude. Look, I like that vision, right? Like it's like the Drew Radio Hour, and we just like have like guests on. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to definitely do that. I didn't have a guest, unfortunately, today. Let me see if Cyberpunk Dingo's around. I was going to have him on for a bit, but I don't know if it might be too late in Australia. I was going to say, guys, like I was this close to not streaming today because I was a bit tired, but I mean, I've tried to start streams earlier around 7 p.m. when people just home from work and having dinner. I mean, good point. I mean, the problem was, Max, I actually had work today with Tony Morris and I got home pretty late. I didn't even get home till like 6:30 because it takes me an hour, you know, it takes me an hour with the traffic and everything. But I'm definitely going to basically like have this as I'm going to have like a radio show. We're just going to have people on. We're going to chat, deep dive lore into the media you're into, utilize your autism for profit. Amen. I mean, what type of media do you mean, Pickles LeBlanc? When you don't have a guest, make a Discord and talk to your YouTube chat, debate the chat, good interaction. Yeah, true. Push it, Drew. We're going to keep pushing it. Call in show. Yeah, dude. I definitely just will never give up. Call-in show. I'm going to work out how to do call-in shows. I've got a bit more free time on the weekend, and then I'm going to do a call-in show. Maybe start at 8 p.m. Yeah, look, that's what I'm going to do, right? I think two things. Got to have a regular time every day because it kind of fluctuates a bit. And the other thing, yeah, just have more guests and we'll do some call-ins and stuff like that. Also, I need to shift to Streamlabs as well, guys. Because I'm using StreamYard, but it sucks kind of like you can't have the full chat on the screen. I have to sort of like manually put comments up. So once a week call-in show. I mean, we could do a call-in show on Sunday maybe. Television and movie programs. I mean, I like that, but would my stream then get banned by YouTube? I like the idea of a call-in show similar to the radio, if possible to do. I would call in if topic interested me. Yeah, dude, I actually think that's actually a cool idea, like a sort of call-in show. I'm going to do that. In real life, stranger debates could also be good videos. You know what? I'll go to UQ and do it. I'll go to UQ and debate people. You know what's a funny guy? Let's discuss this one thing on the stream, right? I've got to bring this up 1 second. You can talk about whatever has taken your interest. The main thing is to explain to us what has driven you to your position. It's not interesting to hear about why someone thinks something. Way more interesting to hear how you came to that conclusion. Very true. Very true. Debate me. How am I anti-white? That's so fucking mental. You guys are fucking mental. Do a placeholder day before. Say some YouTube channels I follow, like DFA, do this and have notifications set day in advance and start at a scheduled time. Yeah, actually, good point. That's actually a good point, Max. I'm going to try to do that, actually. Did you ever do martial arts as a kid? I think I went to like 3 karate sessions when I was 5. But I never properly did it right. Let's watch it.
You might think,
holy shit, guys! Look at this.
There's no way this is gonna work. Yes, it does.
Look at Hassan Piker, man. Look at Hassan Piker before he became famous. This was when he was on Cenk Uyghur's show.
You might think, wait a minute, there's no way this is going to work. Yes, it does. Let's get out of here. It's time to get out of there, and it's time to separate her from her herd, meaning her crowd of girlfriends that are going to do their best to cock block you because
Dude,
they're
it's
fat
literal
and
Andrew
lonely.
Tate
If
shit.
Let's get out of
Literal
here. It
Andrew
doesn't
Tate.
work. You exchange numbers. She leaves. You leave. You guys talk later. And you continue on your conquest for the rest of the night. If the let's get out of here does work, you have successfully left the club with a hot girl, hopefully, in the cab, and you're going to your place or her place. Now, once you're in a more intimate one-on-one situation, it's much easier to get things moving forward. If you hadn't played
This guy's fuck. I hate this cunt, man. Listen, let's go back to the start.
you might think, wait a minute, there's no way this is going to work. Yes, it does. Let's get out of here. It's time to get out of there, and it's time to separate.
This is Drew when he's on the Roy. Grown ass man. You're anti-white because you support economic refugees like yourself, but don't support people who are actually persecuted. What the fuck is this guy talking about? What the fuck is this guy talking about? Unironically, this is the height of what Mike from PA thought he could achieve. That's so fucking sad. Maybe when work calms down and can figure out how to do connection through my YouTube, I can come on. Yeah, dude, Max, I would like literally we can do a debate sometime. I'd love to do that, Max. Let's do it. We'll do a debate. You know what, Max? Tell Robbie Barwick. I know you're fucking friends with Robbie Barwick. Tell Robbie Barwick I'll literally debate him on one of these. Tell him we can do a debate. I wonder if he'll actually do it. I wonder if Barwick could actually put his money where his mouth is and actually debate me.
Her from her herd.
Listen to this guy.
You might think,
This is Hassan's like guide to rape. It's actually fucked up.
wait a minute, there's no way this is going to work. Yes, it does. Let's get out of here. It's time to get out of there, and it's time to separate her from her herd, meaning her crowd of girlfriends that are going to do their
Herd,
best
dude, it
to
sounds like
cock block
rape.
you because they're fat
Sounds like
and
rape.
lonely. If let's get out of here doesn't work, you exchange numbers, she leaves, you leave, you guys talk later. And you continue on
Sounds
your conquest
disgusting,
for the
guys.
rest of the night. If
The
let's get out of
conquest.
here
It sounds
does
like Andrew
work,
Tate. What do you
you've
think?
successfully
Do you think this guy respects women's? I don't think so, guys. I don't think
left the
so.
club with a hot girl, hopefully, in the cab, and you're going to your place or her place. Now, once you're in a more intimate one-on-one situation, it's much easier to get things moving forward.
Love me heard this comment by Big Finger. I'm white, but I'd rather 1 billion South Sudanese than 1 Afrikaner in this country. That's fucking nuts. Fucking crazy comment. Fucking crazy comment. I mean, just even thinking on in racial terms like that is amazing. Pure. Have you watched Miss Mick Jugger Nuggets before? No. I thought it'd be interesting to debate Barwick. It's a pity you guys fight on Twitter. If you actually met him, you'd probably find a lot to agree on. He's an interesting guy. Dude, tell Barwick I'll literally debate him live. Tell him we'll debate live if he actually wants to, right?
If you hadn't played Finger Fun already in the club,
Finger Fun,
now is the time
dude,
to utilize
ugh.
those magic
Brother, fuck, man. Haram, literally haram. Dude, Hassan calls himself a cultural Muslim. I think I'd probably prefer if he's a Wahhabi. I'd probably prefer like Wahhabism to this shit. Oh, bang them with your fingers at the club. Dude, bring back, like, maybe actually bring Hassan to a conservative Islamic country and just, get rid of the frat boy shit out of him because this is fucked up.
intimate one-on-one situation, it's much easier to get things moving forward. If you hadn't played Finger Fun already, in the club, now is the time to utilize those magic fingers. Take her back to your house, show off that impressive vinyl collection that no one.
It's fucked, man. That's just fucked up. Guys, look at this. So this guy is the president of the University of Queensland Student Union, my university student union. Represents 50,000 students. Iraqi anti-Zionist guy called Jafar Jabir. And he tried to block a motion by Indian students offering condolences to the victims of the terrorist attack in Kashmir. Like how unhinged do you have to be? So his first act in office was to ban Coca-Cola from outlets on campus due to Coca-Cola's alleged Zionist influence ties. And elected on a 4% turnout with a pro-Palestine ticket. Dude, what the hell? Someone goes, is that Black Drew? Come on, man. That's fucked up. Oh my God, man. This guy is like literally, just a horrible person. Literally couldn't even accept a condolence motion for the people killed in Kashmir in that terrorist attack. Just fucking mental. Guy was just paid by Pepsi. So true. Look at this, right? This is funny. Look, this is beautiful. I fully ratioed Mike from PA. Mike from PA, look at this fucking disgusting guys. He does have the Drew hairstyle. That's fucked up, guys. Come on, guys. My hair's very different to that. My hair's very different to that. Don't even put me next to that guy. The hair is fucked up. That's not my hair. That's not my hair at all. Guys, look at Mike from PA. I completely ratioed him. So 1.5k likes. Going, oh, Drew just wants everybody to fuck off, cunt. Fuck off. Look at him. Get a haircut. Take a fucking shower. 2.7k likes. Fucking mogged. Just fucking mogged it. Fucking mogged him. Drew's brother. Why is the chat bullying me? Why is the chat bullying me? This is not my fucking brother. Look at this cunt. Get a haircut. Take a shower, hippie. It's so sad, dude. Mike from PA just literally, his entire living is just sucking off Hassan Piker's cock. It's actually disgusting, dude. It's actually fucking disgusting. I'd rather like literally work in a fucking coal mine. Guys, what would you, guys, seriously, real question. Would you prefer working in a coal mine, like literally just like just with like one of those old-fashioned pickaxes and just breaking fucking rocks, just breaking rocks all day, every day, like in a fucking chain gang, or just being this guy and your entire job is just to suck off Hassan Piker in like the waiting room and just like wait, just like have a stream every day for people who are waiting for Hassan Piker to start his stream. Would you guys prefer to be in the chain gang, like breaking fucking rocks with the pickaxe? Like one of those old time fucking like, you know, movies. I think I literally would. It's literally like grotesque, guys. Grotesque. Yeah, a lot of people are saying easy ass question. Easy ass question. Yeah, literally, guys. Literally. Drew, maybe consider coal mining. You were pretty good at posting coal on Twitter sometimes, but the pay in North Queensland is better. Well said, sir. Well said. But just imagine this guy, right? Like, yeah, seriously, would you prefer like literally just breaking fucking rocks in a chain gang every day as like a fucking slave and you got like just fucking irons attached to your legs? Or just being this fucking bloke and literally your whole job in life is just to suck off Hassan Piker? I think I'd prefer the fucking chain gang. I think I'd literally prefer the fucking chain gang, right? This is a pretty funny one. Purple Pingers, abolish rent. So true, Purple Pingers. That's how fucking society works. That's how like fucking economics works, Purple Pingers. You can just abolish rent. Honestly, that'd be pretty good for me. If we could abolish rent, suddenly I would be in a better position in my life. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work, Purple Pingers. I don't think it's going to work. I'm the queen of the NIMBYs and stopped 37,000 homes from being built. What should happen to these guys, guys? Guys, what do you think should happen to people like this? Leave your comments in the chat. Leave your comments in the chat. What do you think should happen to people who are like this? What do you think? Like real question, guys. Real question. We've got 22 people watching on the YouTube. What do you think should happen to people specifically like this lady? Just comment your thoughts. Someone says drawn and quartered. Someone says walk of shame. I disavow. Oh, fuck, it's Mike from PA. You got to warn us before putting pictures like that up on screen. Very true, very true. What is a NIMBY? A NIMBY is just somebody like this, not in my backyard. And their job is literally to just propagate suffering in the world. It's like just like a boomer. It's like, it's an ancient caste of boomers. And their goal in life is to, just try kill young people. Just try and kill people. A lot of comments. We got a lot of thoughts in the chat. Vandalism, Afternoon of the Pillow, Walk of Shame, Game of Thrones. I'm disavowing all this stuff, guys. I'm disavowing all this stuff. But I mean, somebody says in Minecraft. Yes, we have to clarify this in Minecraft. Mike from PA is 32. What the fuck, guys? What the fuck? Mike from PA. I've never seen anything he's actually produced. Should we watch like a video of this guy? Mike from PA. Oh, look at his fucking face, dude. 32? He looks so unhealthy. He looks so fucking unhealthy.
Progressed. So how about you make the
As I said, dude, his entire life is literally professional sucking off Hassan Piker. Imagine that. I would prefer to live in I'd prefer to be in a chain gang. I'd prefer to be in a chain gang, tied up, like fucking, like, let me show you, right, what I mean. Prison chain gang. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking. Hang on, I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'll share with you what I was talking about because I just wanna ask people what they think. Pickaxe. Come on. We're trying to find something like this. Yeah, guys. Okay, actually, good question. Think about this. Okay, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna put this on the chat. Okay, guys, chat. Real question. Would you rather this be your life? So you're literally like you're in like one of those old time prison uniforms with the fucking stripes. Really important. You have the stripes. One of those old prison hats, and you've got like leg irons around your ankles, and you're like literally just fucking breaking rocks every day. Breaking rocks. Would you prefer that or Mike from PA's job, which is to be fat and suck off Hassan Piker professionally? I think I would literally prefer the chain gang situation. Because, you know, it's kind of like cartoonish. You look at this, it kind of looks a little bit like fun almost compared to Mike PA's life, which is probably the worst life I've ever even encountered in my entire fucking life. Again, guys, think of this.
I have an idea.
Would you prefer this guy, you be this guy, or the prison chain gang? I don't know. I actually don't know.
And raising.
Do we get at least gruel 3 times a day? Yeah, you get 3 days. You get 3 times of. You get three lots of gruel a day. It just keep in mind it's shit prison food. Someone says he's bloated like a corpse. I mean, good question. Good. Well said. Be Mike from PA or Stalingrad resident 1943. Tough one. Guys, this is a great comment here by Possum Nation. 24 watching, 14 likes, by the way. Hit the like, help Drew read. Very important, guys. Very important. You have to smash the like button. You have to smash the smash the comment section. We need this shit to grow, guys. We need this. The timeline of Hassan's entertainment. Dude, Hassan got questioned for 15 minutes. Hassan got questioned for 15 minutes and he was acting like he was fucking Nelson Mandela in Robin Bay. Nelson Mandela movie, Robin Bay. Like, I'll show you. This is what Hassan Piker thought. Hassan thought he was this. Guys, Hassan Piker was detained for 10 minutes. He was detained for 10 minutes. It was just like literally just standard customs questioning. They just were like, oh, you know, where did you go? Why do you call up for another 9/11? All that stuff. Hassan Piker is acting like this.
One of the things that is difficult for me to comprehend.
Guys, this is what Hassan Piker thinks he is. Can you imagine, right? 10 minutes. He spent 10 minutes. Let me just clarify. Hassan Piker spent 10 minutes in airport customs questioning. And he actually thinks that he's Nelson Mandela in Robin Bay. He actually thinks that. This is what he thinks it is.
We spent such a long time here.
Bro, Hassan thinks he's Madiba.
And there were moments of joy. But of course,
imagine Hassan is like, he's acting like a Nelson Mandela, reflecting on his old Robben Island prison cell. There were still moments of joy in there for me. 30 years of prison. It's almost as much oppression as Hassan's 10 minutes in airport custody at LAX. Almost. What do you guys think? Who do you think had it more rough? Nelson Mandela in Robin Bay prison for 30 plus years, I believe it was, or Hassan Piker 10 minutes in airport customs? Just let me know. Who do you think had it worse? That's a tough one. That's fucking tough. That's fucking tough. Nelson Mandela walking out of prison.
Marshals.
This is what Hassan Piker thought he was when Hassan Piker got out of airport customs. When Hassan got out of his 10-minute questioning session at airport customs, he thought he was Nelson Mandela walking out of Robben Island prison after 30 years. This is what he thought it was.
And a salute from Mr. Nelson Mandela,
Salute.
his wife Winnie.
Imagine you're Hassan Piker, you've come out of airport customs 10 minutes. 10 whole fucking minutes, guys.
That is the man who the world has been waiting to see. His
The world
first
awaits.
public appearance in nearly
You're
3
walking out of
decades.
Robben Island prison with your wife after 35
72
years.
old, walking strongly.
This is
step
Hassan
by
leaving
step
LAX
further
Customs
into freedom.
Airport questioning after 10 minutes. Nelson Mandela, Robben Island prison, 35 years in detention. It's almost the
ANC
same.
flags.
He salutes the waving crowds. Hello, he's walking next to Winnie Mandela.
And one wonders what must be passing through Mr. Mandela's mind.
Historic moment when Hassan got out of airport customs. A great injustice. Could you believe Trump did this? Could you believe that Trump did this to Hassan Piker? 35 years in a Robben Island prison cell.
Excitement.
He's gotten out, guys. He did it.
Through the barriers,
Salute, a fist salute. A
the
salute.
human barriers of the martial
Hassan is Nelson Mandela reincarnated
intended
confirmed.
to keep
Well
Mr.
said. Very
Mandela
well said, chat.
free
Very well
so that
said.
everybody could see him. An excited crowd.
Very excited crowd.
They've been standing in the
Freedom.
sun the whole day, waiting.
Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? What else? What was that? Really good. It was had what was that Mandela movie? It had the rugby team. Had the rugby team in it. I'm gonna try find it. Invictus, Robben Island prison. It's very affecting. Hang on. Guys, this is Hassan when he left the prison cell. When he left customs. It's fucking sad, isn't it? Invictus. Drew, what are you studying? I'm studying law and I'm doing my last English literature course this semester, Australian literature. It's good stuff. Cool running. Someone said cool running. We're gonna watch it, guys. We're gonna watch it because it's just so inspiring what Hassan did in leaving after 10 minutes of airport customs. I think it's probably on the same level as Nelson Mandela.
Shall it be?
So, guys, when you're watching this scene with Nelson Mandela leaving prison, please think of Hassan leaving. Just think of Hassan Piker leaving the airport after 10 minutes of questioning. I think that's important. We've got to talk about this, right? We've got to talk about this. It's fucking important. Oh, what's wrong with the fucking internet? Sons of Liberty. What's Sons of Liberty?
Nelson Mandela will be released at the Victor Verster prison on Sunday.
Wow, this was the moment.
At about 3 p.m. There's Mr. Nelson Mandela.
That's Hassan leaving the airport after 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes in custody answering questions. It's Nelson Mandela leaving after 35 years in Robben Island prison. And the crowd goes wild and the world awaits.
And around the world.
The
recent release of Nelson Mandela from prison has triggered a power struggle between the
It's
ANC
amazing.
and their black rivals. There are reports that the government has been secretly providing arms to these groups,
Wow.
contributing to the violence that has erupted throughout the country.
Max asks, is law hard? Listen, like UQ's a pretty good standard. I got my first year, my GPA in UQ law was 5.75. I missed out on straight sixes by 2 marks. Very sad. If I got straight sixes, it would have been straight distinctions. Very sad. Very sad. We came close. I did pretty well. Which is good. Who was he waving to? Anyone there like Trump? He was just waving to the crowd because it was so powerful the moment he got out of the prison. Just so powerful. Hassan Piker Airport. Law is easy. Just learn to be arrogant. Well said.
Now to this developing story that may be related to the Trump immigration policy. Popular left-wing Twitch streamer and YouTuber Hassan.
Hang on. Popular? I'm not sure about that. Left-wing? I'm not sure about that. Twitch streamer? Yeah, sure. Maybe we can say that. But he's a communist. And I don't know how popular communists are in America. But
Piker says he was detained at a U.S. airport for hours this weekend and questioned by U.S. Customs and Border Protection about his political beliefs, specifically on Gaza and President Trump. Now, he posted about it on X saying, quote, it wasn't that bad, but very strange experience overall, though. And Piker's post seems to have caught the attention of the Department of Homeland Security, who replied by saying, and I quote, lying for likes. Now, we reached out to the DHS for comment. They told us
you need a phrase for the start and end of your stream and on merch. You know what that phrase will be? It will be the Fortress of Righteousness. Welcome to the Fortress of Righteousness. As Friendly Geordie's described to me in my show, he said, welcome to the Fortress of Righteousness. Very true. We're in a Fortress of Righteousness, folks. The righteousness covers us because we're on the side of the angels. The angels are on our side. And the angels support liberal democracy. Someone says it's Druin time. So true. 10 minutes or 10 seconds or 10 hours, it is intimidation. Dude, it's so intimidating. Hey, when you're a really rich streamer and you just quickly get stopped at customs and they say, hey, did you really mean it when you said that America deserved 9/11? That's the same as Nelson Mandela in a 35-year prison cell, I think. I think it's pretty similar, right? It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
And again, quote, this is nothing but lying for likes. Hassan Piker joins us right now live. Hassan, let's start right there with the DHS's response. Lying for likes, calling it routine. What's your response to their response?
I think NBC News is actually not giving him enough respect because they need to be talking about this guy like a political prisoner. Like they're talking to Mandela right after he's been released from Robben Islands.
I find it really strange that they consider asking questions that are very specific about my political commentary in general as a
Dude, he's just a normal liberal guy. I can't believe he got questioned at the airport for supporting universal public health care. That's fucked, man. That's so fucked up. Don't ask about his thoughts on fucking 9/11. Don't ask about his thoughts on Hamas and the Houthis. Just don't ask about that, right? Just pretend that doesn't happen. Pretend he's never said anything insane like that. Just pretend that this is a guy who's getting persecuted because he said that he supports public health care. Let's pretend.
as it pertains to Israel-Palestine, but also specifically around my loyalty to the current administration and Donald Trump.
Loyalty. Fuck off, dude. They didn't ask about loyalty. No fucking way.
To be a part of a routine inspection. I don't know if this is the Department of Homeland Security admitting that this is now going to be a routine part of the process at the point of entry into the country for American citizens, or I don't know what they're actually trying to say at all.
He's actually persecuted, guys.
Because they did not deny that they actually detained me. They openly stated that they did that and also released me after questioning. And the thing that they actually...
We've got a comment. How is he doing that Ottoman royal family thing? What are you talking about, my friend? Morphing between looking Central European and a rug merchant suit. Okay, man. Okay. I disavow. Ask Hassan if he supports women and if he does, why he thinks rape is justified. I think the final arbiter to determine whether women have been raped is really Hassan Piker. So, when international criminal court tribunals want to assess whether rape has occurred in armed conflict as part of war crimes, atrocities, they need to go to Hassan Piker because this guy knows he's an international war crimes investigator. From his bedroom in his mansion in LA, he has a unique vantage point whereby he can somehow himself personally determine whether, rape has occurred in armed conflict. It's a really interesting thing. But this guy does have a long history as a sort of, investigator when it comes to war crimes, investigator when it comes to armed conflict. He's been out there in the field. He's got a lot of experience when it comes to, crisis humanitarian work. He does a lot of stuff from his LA mansion. It's an attack on freedom of the press. Yeah, dude, so true. So unbelievably true. So unbelievably true. I mean, it's just an attack on the freedom of the press. Like, this guy's been persecuted. And, why has he been persecuted? It's so sad because all he's ever done is say that, 9/11 was good. That's all he ever did. He just, he just endorsed a couple terrorist attacks. What's that between friends? Okay. Like how can you support, how can we just, stand silent? First, they came for the Twitch streamers who support terrorist attacks against America. You can joke, but the press is messed up.
Omitted in that statement was the questions themselves, the questions that they had asked. And I think that's the main point of contention here.
And this all, the thing, I hate to say this, but one of the things that caught my attention, you have global entry, right?
Max says, not saying I like him, but Xi Jinping is an electrical engineer. Dude, Max, a lot of Chinese scholars say that his degree from Tsinghua University at that time is not necessarily that well respected because he attended on a sort of special scholarship awarded to people of, pure ideological position within the CCP, right? And he attended at a time when, like, you know, half the classes were literally just like mouse indoctrination.
That's supposed to be
or CCP indoctrination.
the expedited line. Walk us through how all this happened.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. Dodo says, I met feminist girls who harp on the toxic misogyny in Australia on Hinge, who then say Israeli women deserve it. It's actually so fucking sick, hey? Probably the biggest hypocrite of all time is Clementine Ford, right? Clementine Ford, somebody who has always talked about rape culture, and then suddenly when Israeli women are raped, she just actually supports it. It's actually fucking sick. It's actually sick. These people are sick people. These people are sick people.
And has something like this ever happened before?
I mean, I've gotten the quadruple S on my boarding pass in the past, but the apprehension or the questioning process never actually escalated to the position that it got to this time around. This was my first time using Global Entry, as a matter of fact. I was coming back from France. I had gone to France with my family for Mother's Day. I had to come back early because I had a speaking.
So humble, just going to France with your mum for Mother's Day. You know, you have to feel for this guy.
Engagement at the University of Chicago. I got my picture taken at Global Entry. I walked in, and the Customs and Border Patrol agent at the gate told me to step aside and that another agent would be coming over to take me to a separate location. And I knew that this was most likely going to happen because I'd seen news reports about immigration attorneys being apprehended at the border and detained and questioned in a similar fashion. I had seen a TikToker talk about her own personal experience a week prior. She also had Global Entry. And basically, I knew what was up. I knew what was coming. I suspected this would most likely happen. And given that I have immense privilege being a public personality and all
immense privilege. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you.
Also having enough financial security to potentially go through a long and arduous legal process, I wanted to see where this line of questioning would go, this line of inquiry would go, instead of immediately exercising my Fifth Amendment rights. They took me to a detention area. I was surrounded by terrified families sitting on a bunch of pews. I asked around to see if any of them actually had American passports. People around me said they did not. There was an old lady in a wheelchair, and agents coming in and out of this other room with passports in hand, telling the people slowly but surely that they could leave, that they were clear to leave. And then another agent came out and said my name. They walked me into this back room with these two metal stools. Everything was bolted down. I sat down on the chair that I assume is normally reserved for the lawyer on the corner. And in the process, they started asking me a bunch of questions. It was obvious. It felt like they knew who I was, given the line of questioning.
Powerful, dude. Very powerful. So scary. I mean, again, all Hassan's ever done, you know, he's called for a couple of terrorist attacks against America. Really, like, how can you expect that leads to being stopped at customs? It's fucked up.
Very specific. It started off with like, what are you doing in Chicago? Things of that nature, pretty basic, boring stuff. And the more I revealed information, the more the agent kept repeating, well, since you said that, and acted like it was in line in the process of discovery, that he was getting new information out of me. When he was like, oh, you're in Chicago for, you're delivering a speech. Well, since you said that, what do you do? Oh, you're a Twitch streamer. Since you said that, what kind of stuff do you do on Twitch? And, you know, I told him I play video games, sometimes talk about drama. And basically, we arrived at questions about what my opinions were on Donald Trump. And I thought that was strange, but I was honest. At first I said, what does that have to do with anything? But then I told him I don't like Donald Trump. After that,
when did he say this? Dude, he said it like 3 years ago. You can't just go, oh, I said it so long ago. Like, he said it when he was literally like still 30 years old when he said it. He's like 5 years older than me.
He asked me about my opinion on Israel and my opinion on what's going on in Gaza, and whether or not I found Hamas to be a resistance group and found the Houthis to be a resistance group. Did I like the Houthis? Did I like Hamas? Did I like Hezbollah? Very specific questions that you would only ask if you already were familiar with my commentary, which is in normal circumstances in a completely academic setting, describing, you know, the historic reasons for why resistance exists.
So holy shit, dude.
Hamas, did I like?
Listen to this. He goes, I'm just when I support Hamas, I'm just doing it from a purely academic perspective. Holy fuck, dude.
Very specific questions that.
Dude, listen to this. This is crazy.
After that, he asked me about my opinion on Israel and my opinion on what's going on in Gaza. And whether or not I found Hamas to be a resistance group and found the Houthis to be a resistance group. Did I like the Houthis? Did I like Hamas?
He's literally said this. He's literally said that he supports these terrorist organizations.
Did I like Hezbollah? Very specific questions that you would only ask if you already were familiar with my commentary, which is in normal circumstances in a completely academic setting, describing, you know, the historic reasons for why resistance.
Academic setting, dude. I just discussed the historic reasons why resistance works.
Exists. So it almost felt like you're trying to get something out of me.
Dude, let's see if the NBC News guys asked him, oh, you know, what were your comments about the terrorist groups?
Right. It seemed clear to you that they knew who you were. Real quick, last question here.
Is the last question going to be about his support for 9/11 or Hamas or the Houthis? Let's see.
What do you think would have happened if you weren't a citizen?
Oh, dude, what a soft interview. What a soft interview, honestly. Don't even ask about his prior comments supporting terrorism. Just act like he's a guy who's being detained because he supports healthcare. Fucking crazy. In an academic sense, this is the most insane part.
And I thought that was strange, but I was honest. At first I said, what does it have to do with anything? But then I told him I don't like Donald Trump. After that, he asked me about my opinion on Israel and my opinion on what's going on in Gaza, and whether or not I found Hamas to be a resistance group and found the Houthis.
All of which he's said before, guys. He literally
to be a resistance group. Did I like the Houthis? Did I like Hamas? Did I like Hezbollah?
Dude, he literally has said before that he likes Hezbollah. But let's see what he...
Very specific questions that you would only ask if you already were familiar with my commentary, which is in normal circumstances in a completely academic setting, describing, you know, the historic reasons for why resistance exists.
So, dude, when he interviewed literally a member of the Houthis who had hijacked a civilian ship, that was just purely academic settings. When he put on like Houthi fucking terrorist propaganda music, just academic settings, bro. He's just purely disinterested academic. What a fucking insane, what a fucking mental case. Hassan just mad he wasn't getting super chats while answering Border Force. Fuck, I usually get paid for this. Holy fuck, dude. Can you just imagine that? Like, dude, he's literally put like fucking Houthi propaganda music on his stream and stuff like that. It was like, oh, you know, it was just academic. I was only academically comparing the guy to Luffy from One Piece. Dude, you know that time when he compared the literal active Houthi terrorist member to Anne Frank, like the little girl who died in the Holocaust? That was just pure academic commentary, bro. Holy shit. Tucker Carlson went to interview Putin, no one arresting him. But dude, in a good world, he would have been stopped at customs. I wish Tucker Carlson was stopped at customs. Tucker Carlson should have been stopped at customs. I think if you're giving succor to America's enemies, if you're literally backing foreign terrorist groups and foreign dictatorships that fucking hate America and want to kill people, then yeah, you should be stopped at customs and asked a few questions. Come on. It's fucking mental, dude. Oh, just a purely academic setting. So unbelievably true, guys. I love it in the academic setting where, you know, I just happen to fucking endorse the Houthis, right? You know, just purely academic, guys. Purely academic. I fucking hate Phidias as well. There are 300 Tibetans in Myanmar in a village called Tahandum. They are Khampa Tibetans, renowned for being tall warriors on the rugged frontier. Their lands are so isolated that the Myanmar civil war has not affected them. Wow, that's fascinating. I didn't even know that. I'm going to retweet that. Wow, okay, Tahandum. I love Tibet, guys. I love Tibet. Beautiful place. I met the Dalai Lama. It was a beautiful place. I can't believe Australia let the WikiLeaks guy back. Yeah, but everyone in Australia said we have to let Assange back in. There's nothing we could do. And so we had to do it. Very annoying. Had to do it. I mean, look, my non-shit posting thing. My non-shit posting stance, you know, he should have been let free, but holy fuck, it's annoying we had to do that. Very fucking annoying we had to do that. Because look, at the end of the day, he supports fucking terrorists. It's fucking sad. Ukraine has identified almost 16,000 names of people lost in a gulag of 180 prisons in Russian-held Ukraine and in Russia itself as far away as Siberia. Oh my God, dude, that's sick. Let me read this article. I think handling Assange quietly was the best approach. Let's make him a martyr. I mean, look, yeah, my non-shit posting opinion is they should have let him free. But after you know, he basically served his time in the end. I admit he basically served his time, let him free to his family, but I'm not happy about it because he's a fucking supporter of, you know, Russia's in war in Ukraine and stuff like that. I'm not going to be like fucking celebrating the horrible supporter of Putin. I'm not going to celebrate it. Thousands of Ukrainian civilians lost in a hellish archipelago of Russian jails. Their plight is truly horrific. Ukraine has identified almost 16,000 names of people lost in a gulag of 180 prisons in Russian-held Ukraine and in Russia itself, as far away as Siberia. he also helped Trump get elected. Not gonna lie, actual scum though. It's funny because Biden was the one who let him free in the end. Trump never did that in his 4 years in office, right? In all the horrors of this war, the plight of thousands of civilians abducted by Russia is one of the worst, but it's in danger of being overlooked. The fate is not mentioned, for instance, in Donald Trump's peace plan currently being bristled over, let alone any demands they are released by Russia. But the plight is truly horrific. Ukraine has identified almost 16,000 names of people lost in a gulag of 180 prisons in Russian-held Ukraine and in Russia itself as far away as Siberia. It is a war crime to take civilians hostage during conflict, but that has not deterred Vladimir Putin's regime. Worse, there is abundant evidence they are being tortured, sexually abused, and killed in custody. That's sick. Alexandra Matvichuk, a Nobel Prize-winning Ukrainian human rights lawyer, said, I interviewed hundreds of people who survived Russian captivity, men and women, mostly civilians, and they told me how they were beaten, raped, smashed into wooden boxes. Their fingers were cut, their nails were torn away, their nails were drilled. There were electrical shocks through their genitalia. One woman told me how her eye was dug out with a sword. Oh, that's horrible, man. That's fucking horrific. When the Russians took territory north of Kiev at the start of their illegal invasion, they came for the men, among them Dmytro Kiliuk. Apart from a short letter sent from captivity a few months later, his elderly parents have not seen him since. Bloody hell. Where Oldham was sick, his mother Helena, bedridden after a stroke, told us, we've been without our only child for 4 years now, not knowing anything, where he is, how he is. She wept as she told us of the agony of living with the uncertainty about their son. I just can't take it anymore. Why is my child suffering like this? It's been 4 years. All we get are endless talks, and more talks, and nothing changes. I could die any day and never see my child again. Kiliuk has lost half his weight and most of his teeth. A year ago, a fellow prisoner who had shared a cell with Mr. Kiliuk was released. He said Mr. Kiliuk had lost half his weight and most of his teeth. Fellow journalist and friend of Mr. Kiliuk, Stas Kozluk, told us he was worried about his state of mind. We just can't imagine what can happen with the mind of a human being that's captured and spends 3 years in that condition. To be honest, I don't know how to help him, and that's the most terrifying thing, he said. Ukrainian authorities can only piece together information about the abducted civilians. Mr. Kozluk told us that those who've been detained learn the phone numbers and names of relatives of others they are held with. Kozluk told us those who have been detained learn the phone numbers and names of relatives of others they were held with. Those who are released pass on what information they can. Russia releases no information about those civilians it is holding illegally against the rules of war. Thousands of innocent civilians are lost in a hellish archipelago of Russian jails, notorious for their evil regime of abuse. And the world, says Alexandra Matvichuk, is in danger of forgetting about them. I think the world doesn't understand, first, the cruelty and unhuman conditions in which Ukrainians are held in Russian captivity. Second, they don't understand that Russia detains not just military but civilians. According to the Geneva Convention, they have to be released immediately without any charges, exchanges without any conditions. Diplomatic efforts to end this war grind on fitfully, but there has been very little pressure on Russia to end its illegal abduction of thousands of innocents. See, that's just horrific, right? If the war ends without these people set free, I mean, that is just such a horrific abuse of humanity. Man, that's just so horrific what Russia does to the Ukrainians. And when I was in Kherson, I met someone whose own father had been tortured by the Russians. He had been abducted off a bus in Kherson when Kherson spent 9 months under Russian occupation at the start of the war. He was on a bus one day. Russian soldiers pulled him off the bus. They thought he was looking at them funny or something like that, and brutally tortured her father. Subjected him to electrical shocks on the genitalia. It's a regime of humiliation. They're trying to specifically humiliate and torture and terrify people. It's just horrific, guys. And I literally met people in Kherson. This has happened to their families. Happened to their actual families. That when you meet people and this has happened to their families, guys, it has a big impact on you. I can never forget talking to some of these, survivors. It's just such a horrific thing. Such a horrific thing. My God, that's so horrific. That makes me so fucking sad. Trump is just unfortunately so disgraceful. So disgraceful to just forget even the civilians that have been abducted. Their brutality is part of their deterrence. Sorry, what do you mean, Jasps? Top podcast by Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Liberals represented by real news in the forms of NYT and NPR. Conservatives want completely information-free conspiracies trash like Rogan and Tucker. So let's see this. Top podcast by platform, Apple. Amy Poehler, The Daily, Joe Rogan Experience. Michelle Obama. I didn't know that was a top 10. Okay. Spotify, Joe Rogan Experience. Theo Von, The Daily, Tucker Carlson. YouTube, Joe Rogan. Midas Touch. H3 show. Is that Ethan Klein? That's interesting. I didn't know it was top 10 podcast. That's pretty crazy. I mean, they do it to discourage others from going to war against them. I mean, it's just the most horrific thing ever, man. Jasper's a fucking tanky. Like, what? You're disgusting, man. If you think that's justified, you're fucking evil. You reckon any country will hold Russian to account? Even Australia doesn't hold the guys who down the... Yeah, guys, Australia lost 28 civilians on board MH17, literally shot down, and nobody ever faced... I mean, Gherkin's in Russian prison, but he's not for shooting down MH17, for criticizing Putin. Holy shit, this is a new Trump tweet. Wait, has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot? What the fuck, man? Fucking genius, Trump. Oh my God. Fuck, that's weird. Most normal Trump tweet. Dude, he's I think he's senile, hey. I think he's honestly senile. How old is he again? Trump age. It's like, how old is he again? 78 years old. Fucking strange, guys. To be 79 years old and tweeting about the hotness of Taylor Swift. Fucking mental. Listen, guys, I might call it a day early today. You know, it's almost midnight here in Australia. I'm sorry that I started so late today. At least we got a show out. It wasn't a big one today, just a smaller show, but look, at least we're being consistent with it. It was pretty funny talking about Hassan and some of this stuff. Well, I'll clip that up. Big Finker says, I honestly think his brain is more liquid than Biden's ever was. Yeah, dude, I think he's gone fully senile. Just unfollowed, unlike. Fuck off, man. I don't care. Steve saying, cheers, Drew. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you, Big Finker. Thank you to Zyanthius. Thank you to Dodo. Who else? We had Steve saying, I've got to thank him. Chris Stewart. Mitchell Dawes. Everybody who tuned in, I appreciate Max Hooper as well. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. I want to say thank you to Lost Mar for the super chat too. Not to say see you, Drew. Thank you so much, guys. And guys, if you were watching today, please remember a like and subscribe would be very much appreciated. Help me reach more people. We're almost at 8,500 subscribers. I've got a comment by Dodo. Thank you, Dodo, for tuning in today. He says, Drew, what's your ending phrase? The ending phrase is this. Guys, thank you for tuning into the Drew Pavlou Show, episode 33 of the radio show. Thank you for joining our fortress of righteousness. And together we will continue to stand strong for the values of liberty and freedom. The fortress of righteousness stands very firm today, my friends. Very firm. Thank you, Max, as well. Thank you. Thank you, Snazzy Sotsman. Thank you, Max. Cheers, lads. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. God bless you all. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.